Hello, this is Susan Poss at Spartanburg Community College, and I want to talk with you today about using the point slope formula to graph lines. So the first thing I need to do is tell you what the point slope formula looks like. So let's talk a little bit about each of these letters. Of course, you recognize the lowercase m to represent the slope. And the x sub 1 and the y sub 1 are going to be the coordinates of a point. And that point will be a point that is actually on the line. So if we have those two components, we know a lot of information about the line. So let me scroll down here, and you can see the first example. On the left-hand side, you see the y minus 4. Here's the equals mark, and so you know already that the slope of this line is going to be 1/2. And then here you see the x minus x sub 1, and I made a stray mark there, so let me see if I can get that out. All right, so the first thing you want to do is to be able to identify the point. So as you look for the coordinates of the point, you want to be looking here and here. And since the formula has a subtraction operation in it, the coordinates of these points are going to have the reverse sign from what you see in the equation. Remember, this is the x sub 1 here, and I'm using the reverse sign and putting that in the x position. And then here's the y sub 1 in that position, and I'm using the reverse sign and putting it in the second position for the point. So let me plot that point. Negative 2, 4 is right about here. And we can already identify the slope of this line is 1/2. And I hope you'll remember that this is the vertical change over the horizontal change. Or the change in y on top over the change in x. So what do I do with that slope? Well, I'm going to this point that I've plotted at negative 2, 4 based off this equation, and I'm going to rise 1. So from here I'm counting up 1 and over 2, up 1 and over 2. And you can do that up 1 and over 2 as many times as you would like. And then you connect all of these points with a straight line, and your graph is finished. So fairly simple. I think the main thing most students have to remember is which is x and which is y, and that I use the reverse sign. So let's quickly try another similar example. Let's identify the coordinates of the point. So the opposite of negative 3 appears first, which is positive 3, and the opposite of negative 1 appears second, which is positive 1. I don't need to write that. And you can see that the slope of the line is 2. And when you just have a whole number, you're going to want to write that with 2 parts so that you can identify the vertical and the horizontal change. So quickly, let me plot the point 3, 1, which is right here. And then from there, I'm going to count up 2 and over 1. So up 2 and over 1. This one's steep, or steeper than the last one that we did, up 2 and over 1. And then you can sketch in the line, and you're finished. And one more, I wanted to show you this last one because you actually need to do a little bit of rewriting on this one. Because here you only see an x, you don't see another number. So I'm going to think of that as an x plus 0. So when you have a missing number, just insert a 0 there so that you will have another coordinate for your point. So let me pick up the x coordinate for my point, which is going to be 0, which is neither positive nor negative. And I'll go to the y coordinate and again use the opposite sign, so that's going to be a negative 2. And I can tell you that the slope of the line is negative 5, and again using two numbers so that I can have a vertical and a horizontal component to this. So let me plot 0, -2, which is right here, and then count down 5 from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, and 1 to the right. I'm running out of space down there, so I'll reverse and I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, and 1 to the left. You can reverse those signs if you need to, and then I can sketch in the line. You can see that this one has negative slope because it's coming downhill, which is just as it should be. So that's how you graph lines using the point-slope form of a linear equation.